Good morning, good morning. It is Gratitude Monday, and I usually don't exercise and do Facebook Live at the same time, but I am actually in Cincinnati, Ohio right now because last night we celebrated my parents' 50 years of marriage. They actually were married for 50 years on August 2nd, but to get all the family and everyone together, excuse me, we did it on August 11th. And wow, 50 years. So I'm 45 years old. And my parents were married for 50 years. And I got to witness 45 years of that. Just amazing, because in today's society, we don't actually commit to stuff that long. You know, we don't have jobs for 30, 40 years anymore. And I've witnessed that twice. So a few weeks ago, I was on live talking about Brian Henry and Nancy Henry and their 40 years of commitment as ministers. And then my parents are now married 50 years. My husband and I just celebrated 14 years of marriage together. And commitment. You know, a lot of people change jobs every 2-3 years now. I think that's the average length of time a person's at a job. You know, you lease cars and you change your cars every 2-3 years. Most people don't keep their cars very long. My husband's had his car since 2009, so it's 10 years old, has over 200,000 miles on it. I just got a new car, but prior to that, I had my car for 12 years and had like 150,000 miles on it. So when you think about these things and commitment, a lot of people just don't commit anymore. And I'm committed. I'm committed to my marriage. I'm committed to raising my kids up and to follow Jesus. Both of my kids are now baptized. And that's, to me, so important because of my faith. And it's hillier in Cincinnati. I always forget this when I go for a walk. Wisconsin's kind of flat, at least in Kenosha where I'm from. And Cincinnati's like rolling hills everywhere. And walking on them, they get me out of breath. But today I just want to cherish and celebrate the concept of commitment. And 50 years. You know, so many things were different back in 1969. The internet wasn't invented. You didn't have electric cars. You didn't have hybrid cars. You didn't have the computers. Well, maybe NASA had computers, but the average Joe didn't have any computers. And just things are so much different. The cost of living was different. Public transportation was different. A lot of things. You know, fast food was just kind of coming out. You didn't have all these obesity-related diseases that you have now. You didn't have or didn't know about all the mental health conditions that people know about now. And just committing to one person for 50 years. Now, don't get me wrong, there are situations that people just shouldn't be together anymore, you know, abusive relationships, things like that. So I'm not saying that anybody who has not committed to a marriage because of those terms, you know, is wrong or anything like that. You know your situation better than anybody. It's not my place to judge or anything like that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just having that stability and watching that stability in my life knowing that my parents are committed to each other and being able to have that as an example in a healthy, loving relationship. Good morning, Joelle. How are you this morning? Hope you're doing awesome. But to watch my parents for 50 years go through stuff, they had some financial stuff going on. They're in a great financial place now, but it wasn't always like that. They committed to saving money. They committed to having financials that could help my sister and I go through college. They made that commitment. They made that commitment to us, to parent us, to be at every football game, watching me in the band, or watching my sister in the drill team. My parents even bought Xavier Musketeer season tickets for basketball so they could see me play in the band. That's crazy. I don't know many parents who do that, but they made that commitment to me because they wanted to see me. And they did that for my sister too. When she was cheerleader in college, they went to games to see her as well. And just that commitment my dad had for the military. He was a senior chief in the U.S. Naval Reserves and served in the military. I want to say it was 42 years. Don't quote me on that. Good morning, Candy. And so he committed to the military. I don't know how many birthdays he missed of mine. And that was kind of a sore spot sometimes. But then I watch him now, and he made a commitment to serve the United States of America. And he's Navy all the way, you know. But because he was in the Navy, because of that, and he served, he has beautiful health benefits. And with my mom's health stuff going on, he's able to take care of her because he committed. He committed to take care of her. He committed to the military. He committed to his family. I remember we almost moved to Chicago because he was up for a job promotion. But he was very worried that if he moved to Chicago, that he wouldn't be able to spend as much time with us. So he turned that promotion down to stay in Cincinnati and have the freedom that he wanted to have. He could have had a much bigger salary if he moved to Chicago, except the cost of living would have been much higher, so it really didn't balance out. But my dad had a beautiful job with Underwriters Laboratories, and he committed to them. I think he was 21 years old when he started with them. And let's see if that's right. He was 17 when he went into the military. He was done it in 4 years, active duty at 21 years old. Then he went into the Naval Reserves and started with Underwriters Laboratories. And he was with them till he was 63 and a half. That's unheard of now because he made a commitment. And I just want to honor that commitment and just thank them for showing that stability. Thank them for showing their commitment to their jobs. My mom retired as a teacher of 34 years, taught in the same school district for, I don't know, maybe 25, 28 years. She worked as a special education teacher, then took time off to be committed to my sister and I when she had children. And then I think when I was in 3rd grade, she went back to school to teach part-time. And just a very honorable woman who, when I was in 8th grade, I think she was getting her master's degree. So she was a full-time teacher, working full-time, raising 2 kids, one in high school, one in junior high, and then going to school to get her master's degree. Amazing. That's probably where I get my drive from my parents. But I just thank them for that stability, and I thank them for that commitment. And I love them so much, and I wish them the best. When you go out today, give a great day and think about what you want to be committed to. Think about what stability you want to give those around you. Think about who's watching. Are your kids watching you? Are your kids looking up to you? That's really what I got from this weekend and from Brian Henry and Nancy Henry having the commitment of service for 40 years to ministry. Over these past few weeks, I've seen some really amazing people, just everyday people, make a commitment to other people. And when they do that, good morning, Dan. How you doing this morning? Thanks for coming on. When you make a commitment like that to other people and you leave a legacy, and I just, people are watching. Who's watching you? What are you committed to? I watch my husband and all the ups and downs he's had this year, and I respect him so much. To go through pneumonia, to go through the flu, to go through now a paralyzed vocal cord, to go through a job change that he can't, that he loves, I guess, what he does, but he doesn't like the situation of having to move to third shift. But he does it with such grace and such poise because he's committed. He's committed to providing for his family. And he knows the bigger goal is to provide for his family and to serve other people. And that's what this is all about when you look at commitment. So who are you committed to? I'm first and foremost committed to serving Jesus Christ. Then I'm going to serve and respect my husband. Then I'm going to love all my children. And then my patients and my clients and all the people, my church family, I'm going to love and serve on them. And hopefully in the next 50 years, I'd be 95. But if I make it that long, I hope people look back and say that she loved people, that she led people, and that she did what she said she was going to do, and that I was a woman of honor and strength and commitment. Who's watching you today? Who are you committed to? I love you all. Thanks for tuning in. If you want to make a comment on this, and if you're watching this on a replay, just put Team Replay. Who are you committed to? I'd love to see what people say. Thanks a lot. Give a great day.